Hello and welcome to Rule of Three's video review for Resident Evil Revelations, a survivor horror game from Capcom. With me today are Impressions, how are you doing?
Doing all right?
And Synyster Dreamer, how are you doing?
Doing well, yourself?
I'm doing great. So, since this is another Resident Evil game, we should give a history with the franchise. I myself have played every single Resident Evil game to have ever come out. I've liked pretty much all of them. I see 5 and 6 as more of action oriented, not really survivor horror, but that's a different story. I still like them. And then, like I said, I love the older ones as well. Impressions?
I played 4, 5, 6, Raccoon City, and the rail shooter one, Umbrella Chronicles. And I'm a fan of it. I never not enough to want to go back and backtrack to 1, 2, and 3, but I think I have a fair amount of experience.
Okay. JJ? Or Sinister?
I've really never really played much of the RE series, but I do own, I've played 5 and 6, and
You never played 4?
no, not really.
It's the best one. Okay, never mind. Go on.
Yeah, I've really not played much. I think I played a little bit of Code Veronica, but that was just like, okay, sit down, play it real quick to kill some time with a friend, and then went off to do whatever we were doing.
Alright, so let's get into the story of Revelations. So, Revelations takes place in between Resident Evil 5 and 6, I believe.
No, no, no.
No.
Is it 4 and 5?
4 and 5.
No.
Okay. Wait, okay, what's the timeline on this?
It actually takes place after 5 for the DLC. It basically, or it's before the DLC for 5. Sorry.
Yeah, so, okay, so it's in between 4 and 5.
Before the nightmare, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically,
the
it's what happens to Jill before 5.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So there we go. It follows, obviously, Jill is the central character in this one for the most part. You do play as Chris and a couple other people, but
He plays
Jill
Chris
is the
Parker.
yeah, Jill is the main focus. You end up on a cruise ship due to some intel about a terrorist organization known as Veltro, who are responsible for a huge bioterrorist attack on the city of Terraria. I think I'm saying that right. In which they pretty much just wiped off the face of the earth due to, at least.
Well, it was Veltro was there doing their bioterrorist weapon, and the BSAA and FBC were trying to contain it, and then FBC was like, just fry the place.
Yeah. But Veltro's responsible for it,
Yeah.
So anyway, you get intel that there's some Veltro people, and you end up on a ship, and then you find out about this new T-Abyss virus, which is a waterborne virus, and you're trying to figure out what's going on. On terms of story, I liked it. I thought it was, your typical Resident Evil story. I thought it was really well done for, what I've come to expect from the series. It's a little bit darker than, the newer ones, in my opinion. But I think that's just because you're on a worn-out boat. So I think the atmosphere played a little bit more into the story on this one. I didn't care for a couple of the BSAA side characters they introduced in this one, but, Jill and Chris were still good.
Yeah. I actually like the fact that it was kind of back towards the horror side of the game series, not just action, like 5 and 6 were.
Yeah.
I was sitting there on the edge of my seat going, okay, where's the next thing gonna pop out from?
Impressions?
I agree. It definitely was a little more scarce. Well, there was less ammo to go around I felt like I was always short. I had to be a little more careful about how I spent it or utilized it. That added to the horror element. At the same time, as far as the story, it did expand more on the BSA organization rather than just Chris and Jill, and you kind of just been hearing about it as an afterthought. It shows that there actually is a significant amount of people behind this. Whether we like them or not is another story, but it's nice to see they're going for some depth.
Okay, so next we're going to get into the gameplay. So basic controls are, if you've played a Resident Evil game, it's fairly similar. It's third person, you move your character with one stick, you aim with the other for the most part. This time there's the shoot. You just hold it, hold trigger, push the other trigger, and it shoots. Melee is back. It is not as overpowered as it was in 6. I think probably a little worse than 5. It's a little bit on the terms with where 4 was. And there's a new dodge mechanic. Shooting in melee, those controls and that basic system I thought worked fine. I hated the dodge mechanic. I thought it was terrible. It was just terrible how they implemented that. Synyster?
Dodge mechanic was interesting to say the least, considering I could figure it out at times, but at other times it was like, okay, I dodged, why am I still being hit? I just don't think I think they added dodge as a last factor and like, oh, well, let's give them dodge and here you go.
Impressions?
I agree. I didn't like it. I feel that it set the foundation for what would become the counter mechanic in 6. It was, in 6 it was a little hard to deal with as well, but at least when you executed it correctly, it actually worked. And then instead of having a dodge mechanic, you had the option to roll out of the way in 6. I felt this is the reason that happened. So, I mean, considering that this game came out significantly before 6, it makes sense.
Yeah, this is, for those I forgot to mention, this is actually a remake of the 3DS version. They updated the graphics, I believe, added some stuff, but yes, this is a remake.
Which they released after 5.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Rather than just making it a DLC for 5.
Yeah. All right. Next, I want to go into is another new thing, which is, I forget the official name, but it's roughly a scanner.
Genesis.
Genesis, yes, the Genesis scanner is you can scan things and find hidden items, collect data on things, find hidden notes, find clues every now and then. I actually like the scanner. I thought that was a really neat addition to it.
And it was the main way that you got healing items because green herbs were very scarce in the game.
Yeah,
so you had to scan everything to make sure you can get data to get your healing item.
Yeah. And it goes to find hidden handprints, which are just kind of hidden collectible kind of thing. But yeah, I like the implementation of it. I thought it was really well done. Impressions? Do you have any?
I don't know. I never played the 3DS version, but am I correct in assuming that the scanner played with the touchscreen mechanic?
No. It plays exactly the same as it pretty much does in this, from what I know.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I have. For those of you who don't know, we tried to get all 3 of them. I played mine on the Wii U, and it plays almost exactly the same as the 3DS, which is you have the map and your healing, and you can quick swap your weapons on it.
That's all the screen is for?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then in that case, it's just a new mechanic then that makes no use of the extra controls that 3DS provided, which I guess made it transferable over to the consoles just fine. The scanning obviously replaced the breaking every single crate you see everywhere. You just scan now instead.
Yeah,
that's pretty much what it is.
Yep. So now you have to hold the scanner out the entire time, so you don't miss anything.
Yeah, I mean it was also a better way, in my opinion, of exposing you to like story, and information, rather than having to enter the menu. You can just find it on screen. It's more dynamic and interactive.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Yep.
The next thing I want to go into is the weapon upgrade system. As you'll find guns, and you also find what are called customization kits. And each one of these customization kits has like a special use on it. It could be extra gun power, faster shooting speed, double bullet, more ammo capacity, stuff like that. And each gun has a certain amount of slots, and you can just take those add-ons and put them where you want. I thought it was really well done. I did like finding some of the, I think they were called illegal customization kits. I found a couple of those because they're really overpowered.
There's two sides. You have illegal customization kits, and then you have the normal customization kits. The illegal ones kind of gave you kind of a different style of customization instead of your normal, I think the normal customizations were firepower or fire rate. Whereas the illegals gave you a daze or a charge shot. It was stuff like that.
But on the whole, I like the weapon upgrade system. I thought it was really well done.
I don't know. After having trudged through 6 recently, and there's just every single Resident Evil has not had. They have not been consistent with their weapon system. There's always something new. There's always something different. They're trying, but as far as the end goal, it's always the same perks. So I didn't really. I don't care. I didn't really care so much about it. Uh, it's just a matter of choosing the correct path to get to the effect that you want. The interface just keeps changing each time.
All right, and the last thing I want to talk about are puzzles. Puzzles are kind of back in this one more so than in previous ones, mostly because it's single player centric, so they can get away with it more. There's key puzzles where you have to find the right key to go through certain doors. There's lock puzzles, which are kind of fun, especially on the Wii U, because once again, since it works like the 3DS, you use the touchscreen to do some of them. And I was kind of glad to see puzzles make a return because I've missed them.
Yeah, the puzzles were actually kind of nice to have in the game. It being moving wires to reroute power in a certain way, and then having to find keys to go get through doors. It was actually kind of nice to have a kind of a puzzle in a game.
Yeah, to be honest, I had kind of forgotten about that element in Resident Evil. It that whole process had been reduced. It wasn't so much a puzzle element in like 4, 5, and 6. You just had to find a key. There really wasn't any puzzle solving involved. You just had to beat a certain number of bosses and you get the piece. Whereas this one actually involves a little, actual manipulating, thinking, etc.,
Yeah,
to
well,
actually solve it.
yeah. Well,
So
4 was the last one that I remember having puzzle like any real form of puzzles in it.
yeah, so yeah, definitely refreshing considering I forgot about it. So yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's all I have. And do you guys want to bring up anything real quick?
Just kind of for story, just be ready for plot twist after plot twist after plot twist.
You mean Revelations?
Yeah. No, this one.
See what I did there?
See what you did there. All right,
Yeah.
so I believe that's it then. So we will now go into our rating system here at Rule of Three. For those of you who've never listened to one of our podcasts, we do not use a number system. We do not rate it based on points because I just don't like doing that. Instead,
Just
we
like
use a
Resident Evil.
yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Go on.
Instead, we use a buy rent pass system. Buy means we think it's worth the full price of the game due to it just being that much fun, or whatever the reasons. We just enjoyed it that much that we believe that you should dish out full price for it. Rent means we thought it was pretty good. Maybe not worth full price. Maybe rent it from GameFly or Redbox or Blockbuster if they're still around, or wait for it to go half off on sale at like Steam or a used copy at GameStop. Just it's worth it. You might want to play it, but not pay full price. Buy means turn it. Just get rid of it. It's a waste of your time. So I'll start off. I give Revelations a buy. Like I said, like I said, I'm a fan of the series. I thought this one was really well done. I liked the Wii U integration. I thought that was really well done. And I don't know, it was a lot of fun. I was glad to see it go back a little bit closer to its roots and have more of the single player element a little bit more focused on this one. Synyster?
I give the game a buy. Even though I'm not one to play a lot of the Resident Evil games, this game really caught my interest, and I literally sat there anytime I had free. I was playing the game until the end.
And impressions.
I give it a rent because I just couldn't get over the fact that it felt more like a DLC. It didn't seem like it merited an entire game of its own, especially because it was just a handheld game initially. And porting it to the console seemed like their efforts to compensate for that. If they had just made it like as an extra for 5, I think it would have been better that way. But still, I like I said, I am a fan of the series. I always tended to stay closer to like the numbered ones. 4, 5, and 6 are the ones that I played. The others I tried just out of sheer interest, and this one was no exception. I would recommend trying it definitely if you're a fan of the series. I just the only reason is I just wouldn't play full price for it.
All right. That's fine. That's why we do this rating system. So there you have you have 2 buys and a rent. And that's it for Resident Evil Revelations. Next week, we are doing Fuse, I believe. That's what I have on the list. So keep an eye out for this. And also, this is the first time and first chance you can get some entries into our next giveaway. I have no idea what it'd be because there's no games coming out July that I think are worthy of it, of a contest. Maybe Dynasty Wars. Otherwise, it might be, a game of your choice kind of deal. We'll see. But make sure to leave comments below to make sure you get some entries in for that anywhere, or just leave them below because you want to, because we like hearing from you and seeing what you guys have to say. Make sure to subscribe to our channel, like us on Facebook and YouTube. There'll be links in the description. All that good stuff. Check out Rule3.com for the written portions of these reviews and any other reviews that we have up. And that's it. So thanks for listening, and always remember to trust in the rule of 3.